Alright, so welcome to the Devil May Cry reboot retrospective playthrough. I've only played a few levels of this definitive edition, but I did play through the original version when it first came out. And as an old fan, but someone who didn't like the original version of Devil May Cry 4 for various reasons, one being that I didn't understand how to play as Dante until well after the special edition came out. I don't know, for whatever reason I really liked this game, even though I recognized it wasn't as good as the old ones. So after having played through a lot of 4 recently, and after playing a bit of 3, but I couldn't record it because it was on PS Now, decided to go back and do a playthrough here of this one and see how it holds up. Because even after just playing a couple levels of 3, I honestly think it's definitely the best game. So, here we go. I guess I'll go with the, you know what? No, I'm gonna go with the normal mode. I don't know though. If I'm doing a retrospective of the game, should I go with the normal? Because I've never played this hardcore mode apart from the first level. So I don't know, I'll give it a try. See what they did with it. Because the lock-on, I never felt a need for a lock-on as Dante in this game. Though as Virgil, absolutely, I could see so many ways to use that. Yeah, reboot Virgil was fun to play as. Though I figured if I start with him, why would I even bother going back to the main game? Because even back then, as soon as I played as Virgil, it was like, holy shit, this is awesome. Like the things you can do with his warp swords, I can't wait to get to that part. Even if I don't end up enjoying the rest of it.
Yes, by close of trading Friday. No, you can't have more time. You know the terms, you know the consequences.
As I've brought up before in various posts, I believe Hideo Kojima could have done an amazing job with the story of this game. The whole twin dynamic, the Illuminati style, you know, shadow organization controlling the world.
Friday it is then.
At least he could have made it the enjoyable kind of cheese. I mean, if you enjoy the story, fair enough, but you know, I always felt the story was kind of whatever.
Did you get it, my darling?
Over $1 trillion.
Oh.
Soon I will own everything.
So there were aspects I liked.
I will control the world through debt. I have
you know, I have an intent to do a piece on that later, maybe.
What's the matter? What's the matter?
Is I have personally written a full analysis of Dante and Virgil in this game against their Devil May Cry 3 incarnations. And how the characters are both similar and vastly different, and both end up actually mirroring.
When they do,
in Dante's case, instead of resembling classic Dante by the end of this game, he comes to take on a role more similar to what we know of classic Sparta. Whereas Virgil essentially ends up at the end of the game being in the role that, what was his name? Arkham had in 3. But as I said, I'll save that for another time. Because I have written quite the piece on that. So, Virgil does have quite a bit of Sanctus in him. Well, in this game, I mean. See, if they had done something with this whole dual worlds thing, like I remember the original concepts, it sounded like they had an idea like Soul River and A Link Between Worlds, where there were two overlapping worlds with gameplay for both sides, and that the cameras would drag you into limbo. And I thought with the shifting level design, if they had stuck to that idea, yes, the game would have been a drastic departure. I mean, it already is, and it would have been even further, but I always felt like that original concept could have been something very interesting. As it was, elements of it that do remain in the game are pretty well done. I mean, the whole environmental shifting is probably the one near universally praised thing about this game.
The demons have been increasing their power for millennia. They're on the verge of controlling mankind. Citizens, we've been kept asleep in a manufactured illusion for too long.
But yeah, even with everything I just said before about how I defend aspects of the characters in this game, I honestly don't like either of them. I like what where Virgil's story goes, his character arc, but as a character, no, he's absolutely not likable. But yeah, I don't have to like something to appreciate it. Whereas Dante, I understand where they were going for, and you know, he does have his own character arc, but yeah, it was never that big on the guy in this game. Never hated him, but yeah.
He's here.
Virgil is where the real interesting character development happens. So I'll wait till I go through Virgil's downfall, and I don't know, I'll talk about it as I go through, but I do intend to do like a full essay video on that. Hopefully by that point the HD collection will go on sale so I can actually get some footage of 3 to use as well, so that I can make it a full thing, including both versions of the characters. Because there are some things that I've felt were made as a deliberate, how do I say, you know, a deliberate bait and switch to play on our expectations. Whether it was well done or not, I don't know, and what I praise as, you know, a clever subversion could also just be entirely entire inability to understand the characters and simply make them both generic and more binary in terms of morality.
Missed.
But that's good. It's finally time, because god, that was a long opening. Yeah, already this game is not holding up well as a game, but it hasn't even started yet, so here we go.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, the launch circle. Yeah, I gotta agree with most of the community. That's just dumb. Well, then again, because Dante doesn't have styles, I mean, makes sense that they'd use the button for something, but feels weird not having the dodge roll though, but I guess without a lock-on they couldn't really do that the way it used to work, right?
Keep coming.
Dante! This way!
Who said that?
You know, this is the first time I've ever realized that the lyrics in this song are referencing the Devil May Cry 4 music. And I gotta say, I absolutely love the Devil May Cry 4 music. I mean, this is alright, you know, hack and slash background music, but it's not the kind of thing I'd actually like. Like, you know, the full version of Shall Never Surrender from 4, when, you know, during the opening scene where you just let the game go without, pressing any buttons, when it has, like, the, section with the duet, and, you know, like, the instrumental cease, kind of, and it gets a lot more serene sounding. I'm not very good at describing music. Okay, well, I don't know. These guys were already kind of a joke without the lock-on. With it, I mean, at least Ebony and Ivory can fucking do something now. Like, I can't break these fucking arcade cabinets when I could break the later one. Where the hell are the enemies? Oh. And why does his guns not just show up on his back? Devil May Cry 3 Dante had him show up on his back. I'm also fairly certain, even in the first level where you weren't wearing the coat, he would just have them tucked into his waistband. Maybe. I actually don't. I'm not sure on that one. But I mean, come on, couldn't they just have, damn it, fucking wrong. Couldn't they just had Ebony and Ivory show up on his, belt? Well, you know the one thing I really gotta give this game credit for right now? In terms of its, you know, this wavy, weird-ass, floating shit, whatever. But in terms of its visuals, it's not actually that bad looking, like the character models and all that.
My name is Kat, I'm not a demon. I'm still in the real world, you're in limbo.
And,
how come I can see you clearly?
compare it to the Deadpool game. Now, don't get me wrong, that game's fucking hilarious.
I can see you.
But as a game that's like this, that combines both range, you know, it's basically something like this with ranged gunplay combined with melee swordplay. This is a far better game than that, right? Doesn't compare to the classics, although it's better than 2.
The hunter has dragged you into limbo.
That 2 is...
I've been down here before.
There's a hilarious reason for why Devil May Cry 2 is the way it is.
Want to fight the hunter.
But I'll save that story for another time.
Follow me, now.
And I don't mean that as an insult. I personally love Devil May Cry 2, but it is a fucking terrible game. Like, not even just a terrible Devil May Cry. It is overall a bad game. But there is a very good reason it's a bad game. Whether it's bad or not is subjective, because, you know, overall, objectively, this is not a bad game. It runs well, it's not buggy, controls well, the controls don't feel half bad. Feels kind of awkward and weird compared to the classics, but as its own thing, this is objectively, you know, at the very least, an alright game. Where Devil May Cry 2, much as I love it, is objectively a very bad game, with some things I personally love about it. For one thing, in DmC 2, I always loved, and it's completely out of place in Devil May Cry. Damn it! Fuck off, yawn. But, yeah. I realize what I'm about to say, you know, it doesn't fit at all in a Devil May Cry game, but I've always thought it was, actually kind of cool as its own thing. And you know, everyone always considers 2 its own thing anyway. For fuck's sake, it's at the end of the timeline and not even acknowledged. We don't even know if 5 is gonna acknowledge it, so who knows. But, how Dante moved and fought in 2, I actually really liked that. His slower, more weighty combos had a kind of sense of realism to them that you don't see in this genre very often. And again, like, that doesn't fit in the Devil May Cry, but I always kind of liked it as its own thing. Plus, it had some really neat ideas, like the the devil heart, the ability to fly. It was the first one to give us a second character. Let us play as Trish. Dante has his Majin form. You gotta get Stinger, baby. Don't even look right. Right. Nope. Well, at least it's not that easy. And Devil May Cry 2 brought in the predecessor to some of Gunslinger. It had abilities to do certain trick moves with the shotgun after certain dodges and melee combos. It had, I think it might have been the first one to do the whole rainstorm where you go above, you just jump above and fire straight down.
We go live to our eye in the sky.
It had the ability to run on walls, which was the predecessor for Trickster. Though I don't think there was any sort of Royal Guard equivalent. God, I'm so used to fucking Virgil and Dante in the classics, where you go and fucking launch after your fucking regular combos or by doing something different. And this lock-on is actually throwing me off because I'm sensitive to fucking stinger control usually. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, once I figure out how to change it. Gotta say though, Dante's moveset is very unsatisfying in this first level. Like Devil May Cry 3 Dante's moveset, first level or not, he was still awesome to play as.
Get down here and fight!
Like, I just turned on the cheat to start out with like everything unlocked. And I started off on I started on hard with Dante, with no upgrades, and I was able to clear the first level mostly untouched, and had a great time doing it just through being able to dodge well, because I usually play on DMD now on 4. And yeah, like, because I was just used to having to dodge and that kind of frantic fighting, it wasn't a problem. But I have to say, Devil May Cry 3's hard, like the special edition, which is you know, the actual hard, whereas the North American and European release, and any others, correct me if I'm wrong, had their normal equivalent to the Japanese hard, and their hard higher than the Japanese, but lower than Dante Must Die, which was equivalent across all versions. And then when they made the special edition, very hard was the North American hard, North American and European hard.
Exit. Good. Not good. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, this is the one big problem I'm having so far is this first level is just kind of dull. Because it doesn't really, apart from this, make use of the whole environmental changing thing. See, here it's very nice. I like being able to use the trap just like you could in like Devil May Cry 3 in the tower. But, you know, other than this one, it doesn't really do anything in this level. I get that, it's the first level, but it would have been neat to have a really... Although, I guess this is a really good introduction. But for a first level, yeah. You get a fucking funhouse turned into a nightmare funhouse, so, yeah, fair enough. Oh, shit. Damn it! Oh yeah, I keep forgetting you got that evade button. God, I better not get in the habit of playing this and not be able to go back to 4 right away. Like, I don't mean in, like, in the sense of it won't be fun, I mean as in... won't have the hang of the fucking controls. And that little part, people have said that to death, so... I don't think I even need to address the wig thing. I've heard a lot of people that hate it for, you know, seeing it as an insult to the fans and all that. But I've also seen people saying it was just their way of saying he's his own character, you know? He's not going to be the other Dante. You know, so think what you want of that one, I guess. But I can understand an argument for both sides. And I don't know what their intent was with it. Though I do gotta admit, the way it was done, after all the way, that they interacted with the fan base before the release, well, I can see where people were coming from, that it felt just like an insult. So I do love how the goodbye collapses. I mean, that's just such a simple thing, but I never really noticed that before. There's an exit sign, and the exit sign gets destroyed.
It's working. You can fight him now. It won't be easy. Hunters are brutal fighters.
So am I.
Okay, that was weird.
Dante, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Attack its base!
I should have stopped at that statue back there, shouldn't I? I don't think his attacks had that flash to him in the original. I gotta say, it's really hard to keep a style going. Keep a combo going with like any sort of high style with these limited moves at the start. Oh shit, and I don't think that thing was like red and flamey in the original version. So I always saw that there as like a neat little nod to the scissors enemies, which if you've seen the trailer for 5, it's fair. I went in like no fucking else, like a dumbass. Fuck you. But yeah, if you saw the trailer for 5, the most recent one, looks like those scissors will be coming back. And I always saw that one attack there as being kind of a nod towards them. Because, you know, I don't think that any time it tried to do something that the originals did, it was just them fucking it up and not doing a good job. I think it was them just trying to make nods to the classic games without having to be them.
That's it. It's working.
Though I do agree, this game should have been a different IP. I mean, if it had been its own thing, it probably would have stood out on its own. But as it was, being what it was, I can definitely understand the concept. But, you really gotta say, yeah, this is kind of fucking boring as shit in this first level. Set up the moves, because it don't have the frantic energy that 3 had. And Nero, even, my biggest complaint with 4's level design is it's all too spaced out. In 3, you had all these great tight level designs, which, even if you didn't have Trickster in your moveset because you wanted to use one of the other styles, you could still maneuver around the rooms and fight. I gotta stop trying to dodge like this is Devil May Cry 4. And you know, whereas in 4 they were not built around that, and so it's a lot of mobility, and that means, tell you Dante in particular, you need to be able to use Trickster half decently, or Dante lacks the mobility to really keep up in combat, like Nero, Virgil. I'm not quite sure with Lady and Trish because I'm not that good with them, but yeah.
Son of who?
Whereas this game, it's got that same problem of, like 3, the level design worked so well with that frantic, fast-paced combat and aggressive enemies. If they weren't attacking you, they were just ducking and dodging themselves. So it made, the whole thing was like a dance. Whereas this is like a dance, as in silly spinning around. Gotta say, it's not off to a good start.
I really remember her.
And I'm saying that as someone who always defended this game. But, I mean, this is only the first level, and I have jack shit for doable moves yet.